What's up, everybody? It's Zach with Claw and Collect. We're here today in my office, and we're talking today about some of the new things that we have gotten in the mail from different vending service providers, different gifts that we typically stock our claw machines with. And I want to go over that with you guys today. So thank you for being here. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe down below, as it really helps this channel and to reach more viewers that help people start claw machine business just like yourself, just like we're doing. And thank you for being here today. So recently, we've gotten, my big thing with claw machines starting out was I bought 3 claw machines and placed them on locations pretty quick, faster than I expected. And one of the big pieces to the entire puzzle, obviously, was the idea of the things that you put in your claw machines, which really is the biggest part of the whole margin puzzle of making money in this business. The machine you buy is a fixed cost, but your products you put in your machines are not pretty standard costs. Granted, you can order your machines like we did from Alibaba or buy them on used Facebook Marketplace and get them cheaper, or you can buy them from American manufacturers, which is, in my opinion, just ridiculously way too expensive. I think that Candy Machines and other groups are very unreasonable in their pricing. For a claw machine, $1,600 plus the NIACs, you're at $2,100 for a mini claw machine. I just think that's ridiculous. So we'll continue to buy our claw machines from overseas and just plan for that. But one of the things we didn't have in our pricing adjustment and expectations was the cost of the different things that we use in our machines. That is a big problem. Now, I've talked with ChatGPT several times, as many of you may have, and I've asked ChatGPT, what should my price of my toys be in the machine based off my win-loss ratio, probability ratio I set on the machine, based off the type of location the machine is in, i.e. foot traffic, and what my margins are that I'm targeting, and what my costs are to the local businesses. Like, what cut am I giving them? So basically, more or less, the best I've been able to do from America is anywhere from, let's say, 50 to 75 cents an item for mini plush and mini keychains, up to about $2 an item, which is way too high. And I have that range of items in my claw machines. And so both small items and big items. And so being smart with what you put in your claw machine is huge in order to be able to actually make money in this business. You may actually have a lot of prizes and a lot of plays, but at the end of the month, not have a lot of profit and be asking yourself, what is my problem? Because let's say you have, you go to your claw machine at the end of the week, you look at how many times payout on prizes has been versus how many coins has been put into the machine, and you do that math, and it tells you that you've paid out about 6 prizes for every one toy for every 6 plays. That'd be a probability of 1 in 6. Well, if your machine is set to a probability of 1 in 6, then you know it's paying out appropriately, but the problem might be the cost of the toys you're putting in it. Other people I've talked to about this business, some people are even buying their stuff from Five and Below. We have bought stuff from Five and Below, but again, most stuff at Five and Below is $5 or more than $5. Their name is pretty misleading. Most things in there are not $5. So if you're putting plush and items in your claw machines that are mini claw machines, especially, that are, I would argue, more than $2, if you're looking at $2.50 a toy and up, you're probably bleeding money unless your win-loss ratio is at a 1 in 10 or higher. And we like running our machines at a 1 in 5, 1 in 6, 1 in 8. So that means our cost of our toys needs to be lower so that our margin is bigger. If the cost of your toy is $1 and your win-loss ratio is 1 in 6, then 6 plays for every $1 toy. So take that $6 played, subtract $1 for the toy, leaves you $5, and you pay 20% of that net to the business. Then whatever 20% of $5 is, subtract that, and that is your actual profitability per toy in your machine. Well, our toys in our machine are ranging right now anywhere from 50 cents up to $1.75 is about where I've got it to. We're going to be doing a lot better than that in the coming months ahead because we've got a big shipment coming from Alibaba. That's going to help us drive our prices way down, as we'll be getting toys direct from manufacturer overseas, which is going to save us a ton of money. But we're not here to talk about that today. That'll be another video. Today, let's jump into what we've been buying from over here in America. So the big supplier that I've been buying from in America for the stock we put in our machines is from Amazon and redclawvending.com. And also my local Dollar Tree actually has some stuff that we can put in our claw machines, though it's just way too expensive for what it is. But let's go ahead. We just got a load of toys from Red Claw Vending, and some of the stuff we've done from Red Claw that has been done really well for us is Pokemon, Mario, and SpongeBob. These are the type of things that have done well. And Red Claw Vending does not really do much SpongeBob that I noticed, but they do some good Pokemon and Mario stuff. The big Pokemon stuff that has done really well for us are these super nice Pokemon keychains. You can get a bunch of these from Red Claw Vending. These Pokemon keychains, let's see, what a little on the high end for me, but I bought these at $1.95 a keychain. These are super nice though, very rubberized. The Pikachu here is so nice. Rubber. You got every Pokemon that's popular right now that you could probably want, and Pokemon is just going crazy. Everybody wants Pokemon stuff, and we did really well with that Pokemon keychains. $1.95 a keychain's not really good, but if our probability is up to about a 1 in 7, 1 in 8, which we've got this machine turned up to a 1 in 8 now, I believe it is, that these are going into, that's going to make our margin still about, let's say, $6 per prize. Another thing we've got from Red Claw Vending, which was $1.45 a piece, that works in these mini machines, is these Squid Game keychains. Now, I'm not a big fan morally of Squid Games. I think it's a little bit rough on the edges and really isn't or shouldn't be considered a kid's show. But the teenagers have really liked these Squid Game keychains. And if all we did was put baby kid stuff in these machines, we wouldn't get our older age demographic wanting to play it. So we try to also tailor our toys to things that older kids may want to play. One of the big things we've seen sell really well in our claw machine also from Red Claw Vending is these really nice rubberized Mario and Luigi keychains. These are also $1.95 a keychain. Again, our win-loss ratio has been pushed up to try to accommodate some of these items from Red Claw. Red Claw, we've got also knobby balls from there, right around 75 cents-ish, I think it was a ball or less. And these knobby balls do really well, but keep in mind something I wasn't prepared for or wasn't even thinking of. When I bought these knobby balls from Red Claw, they came shipped flat, which makes sense from a shipment standpoint. I just didn't think that through, so I did have to go to the sports section over at Walmart and get one of these ball pumps with the little tip on the inside so that it can go inside my knobby ball, and just a few pumps there, and then your knobby ball is ready to go. Getting these knobby balls in the machine are easier to grab, and they're cheaper, so I put them on top of my claw machine supply and put the more expensive stuff at the bottom of the machine and cheaper stuff on top, and the more expensive stuff also around the edges of your claw machine, making it harder to get to, which is the way you structure your prizes so you don't pay out your expensive stuff so quickly. Other things we've gotten from Red Claw Vending, we paid, let me see here, for a 50 pack, we paid $23 on these 2-inch Pokeballs. And so that's at about, what is that? It's about 50 cents a ball here. And these 2-inch Pokeballs with little figures on the inside, different generation Pokemon inside these Pokeballs. People love these Pokeballs, and I think an M1 Claw, which is what our current machines have in it, would do well with these. An M3 Claw, I don't know. I haven't really tried it. Our M3 Claw machines have the grips on the fingers. We've added the grips on the fingers, so that helps it grab a bit smaller stuff too. I prefer the M3 Claw for most applications. It grabs just about everything the mini M1 Claw does, but better because it gives you a wider range of toys you can put inside your machines. There is a difference, and you do need to ask when you buy your machine, whether that's Alibaba or CandyMachines.com in America, to what claw that's going to be on it. I think most of them come standard with the M1 Claw. So if you want the M3, which is just a slightly bigger, better claw in my opinion, I think you should ask for that when you're buying to make sure that's what you get from the manufacturer. Again, these Pokeballs, we paid about 46 cents a piece. And again, people love Pokemon. That's well within our margins when we're on a 1-in-8 ratio on making our money back. So highly recommend those. From our local Dollar Tree, maybe your Dollar General would have it, we have these little superhero plush and these little like Mickey Mouse plush. They're a few inches long, a few inches wide, but they're $1.75 a piece from Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and they're just not nice. They're good filler, but not what you want to be paying for cheap filler. $1.75, way too expensive. But we have bought some stuff from there when we were in a pinch and had no stock to put into our machines while we were waiting on deliveries of various things. We've ordered from Amazon stuff that we have loved here. One thing we've gotten is this Dest Life is the brand, DESTLIFE. This is a 72-pack mini stuffed generalized plush, Dest Life, 72-pack mini stuffed party favor plush for kids. They're like little keychains of various different style animals. You got little ducks, little dinosaurs, little fish and starfish, etc. That look, you got boys' toys in here, girls-looking stuff in here, and this acts as good filler. I think we're paying, based off what, if I remember correctly, we're paying like 30-40 cents per animal in this pack, and so that is just a fantastic deal from America, and it just acts like really good fluff. This is the kind of stuff that would be like your base layer inside of your machine. Now, if you've ever heard of machine logic inside these claw machines, I think what I've heard, and don't quote me if I'm wrong here, but about 75 to 80% of your machine should be this ultra cheap stuff. And then about another 15 to 20-ish% of your machine is the nicer stuff. In my case, my $1.75 to $2 range stuff that I'm buying. And only that being on the edges and near the bottom, but is visible to the eye to see, but not easily for the claw to reach right away. That way that the claw is more likely to grab your cheaper knobby balls and to grab your cheaper generalized items like this Dest Life 72-pack Party Favor plush. That way the machine is still paying out when kids get that ratio right and when that gets around time to paying out something. But again, not your super nice stuff. The way you bleed money in a claw machine business and not even knowing it is whenever you're paying for more expensive items and putting too much of that in your machine and your win-loss probability ratio being too low, i.e. like 1 in 5 or less. If you're at 1 in 5 or less and you're paying near $2 to $1.75 per item in the machine, you're going to lose money. Don't do that. So try to get some decent stuff, mid-tier, mid-range stuff for ultra cheap in the 35 to let's say 65 cent range. Then you're going to do about 70% of your machine stock with this. Another 15 to 25% of your machine, my opinion, with something that's more expensive like a $1.75 keychain or like a 75-cent knobby ball. That's going to be the way I fill my machines. And I may even plug a picture in here in a second to show you kind of what one of our finished out machines looks like when it comes time for us to stock our machines, which we do about once a week. Dest Life Plush, we've really loved that. Also, another thing we bought from Amazon, and we've really liked it because it makes it something for kids to win. It's a little easier for them to win this, and it's dirt cheap, is this 100-piece pack of gifts and game prizes off Amazon, Pop-It wristbands. So these Pop-It wristbands, what we do when we finish stocking out our machine and we put in our base layer Dest Life plush kind of in the middle, let's say we sprinkle in a couple of these 2-inch Pokeballs visible to the eye, some near the bottom, some near the middle, some near the top, intermix with that cheaper plush. On top, we're going to add some of these Pop-It wristbands folded like this and just set them on top, mixed in with everything. Once everything is inside the machine and we hide the more expensive stuff with these things on top, it blocks the claw from being able to grab the more expensive stuff and also gives the kids a chance to get a payout on something that is cheap. We're paying like, again, 30 to 40 some cents maybe or less for these Pop-It wristbands. It's a 100 pack for like 20 bucks. So you do the math on that. Dirt cheap, kids love them, and it's something to pay out. And our machines are at $1 a play. 1 to 6 to 1 and 8 probability ratio. We're happy with that on the Pop It wristbands. Something else we're paying out, it's around, let's say 30, 40, 50 cents per. Is this a large pack of emoji? This is Dream Park 80 pack mini kids emoji. It's a set of 80 emoji faces that are keychains. Again, we've probably paid, in the 30-ish, 25 to 30 some low dollar range for this 80 pack of these emojis from Dream Park on Amazon. So our Pop It wristbands, our Desk Life generic plush, our emoji keychains are coming from Amazon. You can also find these, I think these are 3-inch knobby balls off Amazon. Those are just dirt cheap items, anywhere from the 25 cent range up to the 50 some cent to 70 some cent range items. We're buying those off Amazon, and that fits our margin. About 50 cents to 75 cents per item is in a good spot for us. Though, of course, every mini claw operator wants to get them cheaper, obviously, because that just means more money in your pocket. I'm looking around here for our stock. Another thing we've bought is these off Amazon for dirt cheap are these Nike Jordan keychain shoes. These are about 50, I think it's around 45 to 70 cents per keychain. And we are putting these to make them grabbable, because it's hard for the claw machine to grab something like this. We bought this 80 pack, I think it is, of these 2-inch clear capsules. And we're putting our Jordan keychains inside these 2-inch capsules. We're also putting sticky slap hands inside of 2-inch capsules. And that M1 claw can grab this and disperse that as a win to our kids that are playing, or anyone who's playing our machines. So again, slap bands, sticky hands, Jordan shoe keychains, and we even have from Amazon, we have our Among Us characters going inside of our eggs here, and that's a good payout for the kids. Kids love these Among Us characters, which again, we're paying maybe, let's say we paid probably $1 to $1.50-ish, somewhere in there for each of these Among Us characters, which is expensive, but it's not going in our machine in bulk supply. There might be a few of them per machine so that we don't, again, lose any money. Let's see here what we got. One thing, we've also made an order off of Shein, which I think some items have come from Shein inside of our box here. Some of the items that came from Shein for us are 2-inch rubber ducks. We also bought this, I think it's like $1.75 per, but it was this 2, 4, 6, 8 pack of these 3 and plus babies off of Shein. We saw them, wanted to try them out. Kids love these. The little girls love winning these, of course. And these were actually made really nice. So for like $1.50 per baby inside of this, I think they're $1.35 a piece paid out on Shein. The brand here is BARBYWA, Barbie-Ya doll. And these have done really well. I mean, they're super nice. They look really good inside the machine. And right now, Lafufu or Labubu toys, I think they're called, that people are also going crazy over, are just too expensive. Like a 3-inch, 4-inch tall Labubu is $13 at 5 and below, which is absolutely ridiculous. So these are a good replacement right now for the Labubu craze. And also people that tend to like the Labubus, girls it seems anyways, they will also like winning these, and this is much closer to our margin. We would not put something that's $13 inside the main compartment. That's going to be like our winnable prize in our mega prize bin up top that people have to play the machine down to get to. We'll take a inserter key that goes to our mega prize on top, attach it to something like a keychain toy, stuff it in the bottom of our machine, bury that with stuff on top, and people know there's a special key in our machine. Once they get that key, they can then open the mega prize on top, and usually the mega prize is somewhere between a $10 and $15 item. So that keeps people wanting to play our machine down to the very bottom. We also tend to hide that key somewhere where it's winnable, kind of up against the glass, but at the bottom, so that they can see it. And it tends to make people want to play that side of the machine as much as possible to get down to that key. So we'll put expensive items over, or cheaper stuff, but bury it over there, so that, again, we're kind of controlling our margins and our payouts and how much money we can make with that whole psychological game of driving customer interest by how we set up our machine. There is a psychology to it. That's one of the most recent shorts that I posted. If you go and check out my shorts that we've done on our YouTube channel here, is the whole psychology of claw machines. There is a game. That game is putting your more expensive items for us. That's about $1.50 to $2 items sparsely at about 15 to 25% of your machine around the edges and the bottom, but visible on the glass. Then our bulk supply is going to be our cheaper general plush that isn't name brand. We'll sprinkle in some of these 2 and 3 inch Pokeballs with little characters inside. Sprinkle that in. On top, we're going to do our really dirt cheap emoji type of plush, our knobby balls, and our slap it hands and our pop it wristbands. And that is generally how we set up our machines. And we've been having good success. We've been having our machines usually needing filled about once a week on a win ratio of 1 in 6 to 1 in 8, and profiting well. We've had even one machine who did $300 the first week it was on location, $200 and some dollars, I think it's $212 the second week it was on location. This is going to be its third week, and we're going to try to collect probably tomorrow based off how the road conditions are, as we've just had this huge snowstorm hit our area this past week, as well as probably the same for you guys. That's my video right now. That's where we're buying from, redclawvending.com. Highly suggest you check them out. Also, the specific items we've bought off of Amazon. But if you're running a miniature claw machine, look for items that are in the 2 to 3 inch kind of size range. That's what that M1 or M3 claw size is going to be doing well with you on. And I just want to show you what an M1 claw looks like. This is the standard claw that's going to come on these machines typically. You'll see that it tends to look a little bit different than the M3. The M3 has a more square body, whereas these claws have a more rounded shape to them. And that is our claw machine. We're buying these generally off Alibaba. I've bought these used, but many of you know these, the Space Warriors. People are buying those from Alibaba from China, shipped at like $450 a machine, $475 a machine, maybe $500 shipped. Another good supplier for these machines, though they're better than the Space Warriors, are the Lifang Amusements Rainy machines, RAINNY, but Lifun, LIFUN, Lifun Amusements on Alibaba. Their machines are the best for the price. They're about, let's just say $700-800 shipped per machine. I think you can buy 4 shipped from China in the $2,500 to $2,700 range, 4 of them. Whereas candymachines.com is about $2,100 per machine with credit card reader. Whereas these Alibaba ones aren't going to have credit card reader, but they are going to have coins, quarters, and those those bill inserters that takes 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, and so on. So that's a little bit of the background of the business, is getting your stock in order. That is the biggest thing you need to think about as you start out in this business. What are you going to stock your machines with? What does your margins need to be? In my opinion, if you're running a mini claw machine, you need to be anywhere in the 25-cent toy range up to a 75-cent toy range for the bulk of the items in your machine. Then you're going to sprinkle it in with items anywhere from $1 to $1.75 range. That's at 15 to 20% of the items in the machine. And then your big prize on top, your mega prize, is going to be in that 10 to 15-ish dollar range. We've even put prizes in there at $7. That's a mega prize, like a large Patrick from 5 and Below. And people have loved that. So these are the price ranges we're trying to stick to. Our probability rate is about a 1 in 7 to 1 in 8. And our machines have done well, and we have good success locally with our vendors that are the restaurants and businesses that are letting us put our machines there. They've seemed to be happy too. So this is Zach with Claw and Collect. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.